Welcome back to your Bestie in Freight. I'm your host Lida, and this is a podcast where we talk with the people who actually building the logistics industry. So operators, founders, and leaders moving freight and shaping the future of supply chain. And today I have a special guest. My guest is Vache Jack Ourfalian, founder and CEO of JetLine Transport. JetLine Transport was built by a team with over 25 years of 3PL tracking experience, serving hundreds of shippers across the United States, including some of the largest companies in the world. But what really stood out to me about Jack is his leadership philosophy, balancing high performance logistics with strong company culture and even embracing AI to push the industry forward. So, Jack, welcome to the show.
Thank you very much. It's a pleasure to be here, Lida.
It's pleasure for me too. And how is it your day going Thursday?
My day's going very well. It's the world of logistics, so you never know what you're going to get. It's like the old Forrest Gump saying, it's like a box of chocolates. So,
Exactly.
but it's going really well. I'm really excited. I think the future is looking bright for the industry overall as well. So,
That's amazing. So should I call you Vache or Jack?
I always prefer to be called Vache, but it's usually Jack is usually there for the people that struggle with it. But since you're Armenian, maybe you could just call me Vache.
Yes, exactly. So, Vache, tell me, you have been in logistics for decades, right? What first pulled you into the freight world?
Yeah, I went to college and graduated in 2009, and I studied civil engineering, as a matter of fact. But something was telling me that I was always going to look for something else. And I lived in Southern California at the time, and when I would go on the road, I would see so many trucks on the road. So I would always tell myself, there's so many of these things on the road, there's got to be some money in it. And so I did some soul searching in 2010, 2011. I really started to try and find my way and my direction. And I wanted to find an industry where I determined how much I made. I worked in the engineering field. They were paying me about $25 an hour. And I didn't like being told what to do as well. So I said, I need to find something that I can determine how much I make. My effort is going to tell me how much I can make. And I went into the financial services industry, and I didn't really like how much it consumed you. And when I came into the transportation industry, just being able to deal with trucking companies, truck drivers, being able to deal with customers and the relationship aspect of things, I found my home when I found the industry. And the way that I found it is I just started asking around, and I found a friend of a friend who had his own company. And he asked me if I had any experience. I said no. He told me it was a full commission job. I said, that's fine. I trust myself. I believe in myself. And I got started off extremely slow, just like any other freight agent. And eventually, just things really started to take off for me, and it got really exciting.
That's amazing. What stood out for me is the part that you said there should be some money in this. This is like your Armenian blood talking, I guess, right? Because I can relate so much on that part. So, Vacha, tell me, starting a logistic company, of course, we all know is not easy. And what vision did you have when you founded JetLine Transport, transitioning from agent and building your own company?
Yeah, we didn't start out with the agent model. We transitioned into it. However, Um, when I started the company, I had a vision that I really wanted to create something special and something unique. When we first started, the name of our company was Alkaios Transportation. We rebranded to JetLine Transport, and the meaning of Alkaios is it's the Greek word for strength. And so we wanted to redefine strength of service. We wanted to really change the narrative about what brokerages are out there. There is a narrative about us, and we wanted clients and customers to really feel comfortable, as well as carriers who are also our customers, to really feel comfortable working with a third party company and knowing that they're going to get serviced properly. And also, this industry gave me the opportunity to change my life. I came from nothing. So It really gave me a chance to build something from scratch. And part of the reason I started the company was I wanted to pay that forward. I wanted to give others the same exact opportunity that the industry gave me. And I really do my best to empower our people and give them the opportunity to build something unique and something special for themselves. And so that was really part of the vision coming into it. And there were some things that I saw at my previous company that I was mistreated, and I wanted to fix those wrongdoings when I did it. So uh, that's where I'm at now, and it's been really exciting. I love seeing people's growth. It makes me so happy when I have some of our people come up to me and tell me how, you know, we don't just focus on the trucking side of things. I try to encourage people to stay focused on every aspect of their life, whether it's being a great business person, whether it's staying focused on your mental and physical health, being a good family person. We encourage an entire lifestyle here.
Yes, that's amazing, Vache. You have a great mission, and I think that you have been doing amazing so far. So, you have served hundreds of shippers, right? What do you think separates companies that last in logistics from the ones that disappear?
I think consistency is definitely one of the key elements in this industry. I know that you have a lot of experience of moving a lot of freight in this industry from what I know after speaking to you. But there's always freight brokers are always looking for a way to differentiate themselves. And I think staying focused on building a unique relationship is obviously very key. But at the end of the day, service wins. And when you're providing excellence in all that we do is one of our company's core values, integrity, transparency, and respect. So when our customers see that and they feel that, see no real reason to go a different direction, and they really appreciate it, and it's really gone a long way, and it's really spearheaded a lot of our growth. And I think uh, using our company's core values and mission statements and vision has really it's really stood out for both our people and our customers. And we hire and we don't really have to fire, because when we talk to our people and we ask them, hey, would you say that you are representing our company's core values? They usually end up fizzling themselves out. And not a lot. It's not happened with a lot of people. It's only happened with a few. I wish I could tell you there was a magic wand and like, hey, this is what you do, and you're gonna get shippers. But I think consistency is key, staying persistent, and just finding the right people that you can create synergy with. Because there might be somebody that I have synergy with or that you have synergy with, but the other person doesn't. And at the end of the day, when you're working with the right people and you have synergy with them, I think it goes a long way.
Like matching even with personality, right? With the customer, it's so important.
Yes, for
So,
sure.
one thing that stood out to me from your post on LinkedIn is the culture you have built in your team, which you mentioned a little bit. I even know that for New Year you gave them some statue. How important it is in this high pressure industry like freight to have culture.
I think it's very critical, especially in today's world with the way that things have gone. I feel like ever since COVID kind of came about, the world has changed, not just our industry, but the way that business is being operated has changed. And I think when somebody can feel appreciated, it really goes a long way. I know that when I was an agent and I would get recognized for my performance, it would make me feel really good. And so um, I think that my part of my mission is treat people so well that they don't want to go anywhere else. And that's really part of what I want over here. And I don't like to force anybody to stay here, and I don't like any force anybody to leave at the same time. But I do everything I can to create unique experiences. I'm not sure if you've ever read the book Unreasonable Hospitality by Will Guidara. If you haven't, it's an amazing read. I would encourage anybody that's in the services industry to read it. But one of the things that he taught me reading that book was just creating a very unique experience for your people, for your customers, and the relationships that you have. And when you can create those unique experiences, it just creates this unbelievable bond between you and everybody else. I saw what you did with going to Cancun, Mexico with some of your people, and I thought that's so cool. And I have a very similar vision for our company. As a matter of fact, it's something I told our people, like, hey, we're going to set a milestone. We're going to put it together so that we all go and meet somewhere. And then I saw that post afterwards. I was like, there's some
This is a
information there.
confirmation, right?
Yeah,
Yes.
there's the confirmation right there. Exactly.
Yeah.
And I love that. And congratulations to you for that.
Thank you. Thank you, Vache. Yes, it was really amazing. This has been my third year that I went to this uh, annual event, and this time was the first time that it was out of the country. So it was definitely an amazing experience. I even extended my stay, for extra day to have like full vacation, because who wants to come back from Cancun on Sunday, right? So I'm like, I'm gonna come back on Monday.
That's awesome.
Yes, that's
Sometimes
amazing.
you gotta live a little.
Yes, exactly. So you recently shared a story about your daughter that kind of touched my heart, saying that she loves you having as her dad. How do you balance building a business and being a present father? I also know that you just had your third baby. Congratulations
Thank
on
you
the
very
third
much.
one.
Yeah, it's definitely a difficult thing to navigate around. I think you have to put your own personal needs aside sometimes. And there's the younger version of me that wants to go out and hang out with friends and do certain things. But at this point, really have two friends. It's my business, my family. That's it. And I saw a recent article, and it was talking about how there's usually four burners that um, that you have to deal with in life, and you can only usually, if you want to be somewhat successful, if you want to be relatively successful, you need to keep three of the burners on. If you want to be super successful, guys like Jeff Bezos or Elon Musk, you can only keep two of the burners on. And what the burners represent is number one is family, number two is friends, number three is physical health, and then number four is your business. So um, usually guys like Jeff Bezos, Elon Musk, they're highly focused. They've been highly focused on their business and maybe their health. I'm not Elon Musk, not so much. Seems like Jeff Bezos, yes. But
One family, right?
you look at their family lives, it's not much. And who knows what their friendship levels look like? We probably won't know the answers to that, but I can imagine it's not fantastic. Uh, I know I have my three burners that I try to, instead of turn them off or turn them on, I try to lower them. And I was talking to my wife, and she's like, that's kind of what you got to do. You don't have to turn them off, just lower them and turn them up when you need to. So I know how critical it is that when you're raising young children to have the presence of their father and to have that relationship with them at an early age. It gives them a lot of confidence down the road. The first 5 to 8 years of their life, you're going to see them the majority of the time. But once they start hit 8 to 10 years old, I mean, you have two kids. I'm not sure how old your kids are, but
Wait, so I know what you are saying. They're
once
gonna
they
grow
get
up.
older, the less you start seeing them. But to really answer your question, is my focus is our business. At the end of the day, that's what keeps several jobs. And, if you got to sleep a little less, you got to sleep a little less. But maximizing the time with everything that you're doing, just doing everything with efficiency and making an effort to just have those relationships. And I think putting your own personal needs to the side a little bit.
Yes, in one word, right?
Yeah.
Amazing. I love the analogy of burners. I have heard something similar, but not like burners. It is very interesting to dim it a little bit down, right? And then when it is needed to make it like stronger, I guess.
Yeah,
Yeah, it's
absolutely.
difficult as a business owner to keep a balance, especially, having friends and family and business and physical health. Yes, 24/7. It's not enough, even 24 hours, if you want to do everything like perfect, but we just do what we can, like at that moment, right? The best we can.
For sure.
Yeah, so Vache, you have worked with some of the largest shippers. What do major shippers actually want from logistics partners today? And I know the answer is not pricing, right?
Well, of course, that's something that you're always going to have to deal with. But the way that you handle it, I think, is going to impact whether or not you're going to get good business or bad business. And one of the things that I encourage a lot of our people and some of the things that I tell our customers ourselves is if you're looking for the lowest price, then I may not be the right person for you. And one of the questions that I really like to ask is if you save $100 or $200 on a shipment because you're looking for the lowest cost person, individual, what's it going to cost you if something goes wrong with that shipment? Because typically, at the end of the day, cheap usually isn't good. Um, cheap is not usually a word that I like to use. You like to use the word cost effective. Um, but at the end of the day, if that's someone's focus, like if I'm having a meeting with one of our customers and really the only thing that their focus is on is price, then I usually won't really continue the meeting. I'll just be like, you know what, I don't think that this is for us because I've been down this path before, and if price is what you're looking for, then chances are you're going to end up coming back later on and wanting better service. And there's usually three levers that we can pull, right? There's how fast do you want it? What's most important to you? It's speed, cost, or service, right? And you can usually have two out of the three. Um, but I think that our technology. I have a custom built transportation management system. It's enabled a lot of our people to operate with speed. And that's one of the biggest things is speed and relationships for us that has really helped us help work.
Exactly. Agree. If they just want good pricing, it just doesn't work that way, right? Especially if shipments minimum they cost $100,000, and just saving $100. Recently, I actually had a situation like that it happens very rarely, but the driver got arrested because of drug, and the like lot got damaged, which they was not paying as good as they were supposed to pay, and now we have to like deal with claim and stuff. If it was just a matter of like 100 $200 extra that we could have avoided this situation.
Yeah.
Now we're gonna like have damaged freight and claim and unsatisfied customer on both sides, which it was not worth it, but it
And you look
happens.
at the time that they're going to have to spend going through that process, just like you
Exactly.
said, just to save $100 or $200, and then now you're looking at legal fees, attorney fees, and then of course, your own personal time and energy and the level of stress that they're going to have to absorb going through that process. It's never fun. And so you look at it either on the front end or the back end.
Exactly. So, Vache, you appeared on one of the podcasts discussing AI in transportation. So, where do you start seeing AI actually helping logistics companies, and what are you doing within your company?
So this is kind of the elephant in the room everywhere you
Yeah,
go right now, right? I think that there's a few approaches that we have taken as a company, and the one thing that I'm trying to do is I'm trying to empower my people with AI, and I'm doing what I can to look at, all right, what is there that's a repetitive task that AI can fulfill for us rather than replacing an individual. I don't think that replacing people is the right idea. I think empowering our people with the tools And one of the things that I've been able to do is make our people's jobs easier by integrating AI into certain aspects of our business. And I continue to do so. Our TMS has AI integrations in it, and we're already our invoicing is already automated. Now we're building an AI co-pilot into our TMS system that's really going to help our agents just work with speed. And I think that that's really going to help take us to another level. Our developers are currently working on training the model. And so, um, I think just you look at repetitive tasks and certain simple processes that can definitely be automated that can help you focus on the right things, which are let me make sure that things are being serviced properly. Let me make sure relationships are in place. Let me make sure the right carriers are hauling our freight. And in reality, that really should be what a freight agent's job is, collecting a POD and uploading it into a system. That's an autonomous task. That's something that you shouldn't have to do yourself. But the things that really matter, that's where I think it should be integrated.
Agree with you, Vache. So, what are the biggest challenges integrating AI into the operation from your experience?
Well, thankfully, I'm not a coder or I'm not the actual guy that's having to deal with the back end of it. Um, but of course, I think just getting familiar with the technology and making sure that you're using it the right way is very key. And it's moving so fast and so much is coming into the picture every single day. And making sure that you're choosing the right ones, I think is very, very crucial as well. Um, but in my opinion, I think that if you can have the right people come on board into your company, and whether it's outsourced or if you have it in-house, that's great too. But finding ways to not replace again, but integrate it into your company to make your company more efficient and be able to operate with speed. But the biggest challenge is, I think, keeping up with the new technologies that are coming out to me and just making a decision of, okay, this is what we're going to use, not this one. I think when you're overwhelmed with options, for me, sometimes I'm just like, there's so many options. Which ones do you go with?
Sometimes you have to make them work with the technology that you have. That's, I think, one of the harder things that you have to do when integrating AI, working with the existing tools and also training your team to use it, because we can have all the technology or the AI, but if we don't know how to use it, it's not gonna do anything, right?
Absolutely.
Mm-hmm. Thank you for your opinion, Vache. So here I want to mention quickly and thank our sponsor for this episode. It is Digital Permit Book. If you are a tracking company and still dealing with stacks of paper binders, this platform helps fleets digitize driver documents, compliance records, and inspection all in one place. It is a smarter way to stay compliant and organized without the paperwork chaos. So you can check them out. It is digitalpermitbook.com. And now let's jump back into the conversation. I have some rapid fire question for you, Vache. Are you ready?
I'm ready.
Okay, so coffee or energy drink when the freight chaos starts?
Coffee. I don't have energy drinks.
The one word that describes the logistics industry.
Crazy.
The funniest excuse you have ever heard for a late pickup or
Oh man,
delivery.
I've heard so many. That's a tough one. I have a doctor's appointment.
Yes, that's a common one, right? Also, if you weren't in logistics, what job would you have done?
I think I would have been a realtor.
Nice. So one thing every shipper secretly cares about the most.
Sorry, can you say that again?
One thing every shipper secretly cares about the most.
Just get the job done.
Get the job done.
Get the
Promotion.
job done.
My answer would have been promotion. Less
There we
stress.
go.
A leadership lesson you learned the hard way.
That's a good question. I think um, knowing and understanding yourself and understanding your own flaws will give you the tools that you need in order to actually become a good leader. Because as a leader, you have to think others first and then you. And you have to have the mindset of what can I do to put my people into a position to succeed rather than what can I do to help myself succeed.
Exactly. Morning person or night owl?
In person for sure. Used to be the
What
other way
is
around.
what is harder, parenting or running a logistics company?
Oh, that's a good one. Um, I enjoy parenting so much, but I'm gonna go with running a logistics company.
AI in logistics, game changer or overhyped?
I think it's in the middle right now. I think it's overhyped, but I think it also will. It's going to change the game, but it's a little overhyped in every industry, not just ours.
Yes. One word your team would use to describe you as a leader.
That's a good question.
Maybe you should interview your team.
Yeah. Um, I've heard things like he's so easy to talk to. He's the best. Just whatever you want to say to him, you can say, and that's what we love.
I
Um,
love it.
yeah, I'm an open book. I'm always willing to hear what everybody has to say. If someone has a challenge, if someone has input on what we can be doing better, I want to hear it.
Yeah,
We're radically transparent with each other.
that's amazing, Vache. Thank you so much. This has been a great conversation. Thank you for sharing your experience, your perspective on leadership, and how you are thinking about the logistics and how you are operating. And to everyone listening, if you enjoyed this episode, follow and subscribe to the podcast and share with someone in logistics who would get value from it. And until next one. Thank you, Vache.
Thank you very much. It's been a pleasure.